Excitement is building for the 2024 Formula One season, but hold on to your seats because the FIA just dropped some game-changing rules. They've thrown in some curveballs with more than 70 days left before the Bahrain preseason testing. Teams can't test current cars, but there's a twist. What are these significant changes? Let's dive into this video today to get the lowdown on the new F1 rules that'll flip the script. The 2023 Formula One season in Abu Dhabi has finished, and now people are looking forward to the beginning of the 2024 season. Max Verstappen and Red Bull did really well this year, but McLaren and Ferrari improved their cars towards the end. In 2024, Alfa Romeo is going to change its name because their current sponsorship will end. They will become the Sauber team in 2024 and later turn into the Audi team in 2026. Red Bull's junior team, AlphaTauri, will also change its name in 2024. They want to go back to a name without a brand, like they used to be called Toro Rosso. There are rumors that they might be called Racing Bulls. Even though there aren't many big changes for 2024, there will be a new record with 24 races, making it the biggest year ever for the championship, beginning of the 2024 F1 season. The 2024 F1 season is set to kick off on 29 February, and it's going to be a special one with a whopping 24 races, the most ever in a single season. The FIA, which is like the boss of F1, has arranged the races in different parts of the world to be more eco-friendly. They've shifted the Japanese GP from September to April, making a clear Asian section in the calendar. Guess what? The Chinese GP is making a comeback after being off the F1 list for the past 4 years. That's exciting news. The Qatar GP is now the second to last race of the season. This change will help the drivers deal with the hot weather, a problem they faced in 2023. Also, moving all the cars and equipment to the final race in Abu Dhabi will make it easier. Cool, right? Let's now understand about the F1 preseason testing. Before the 2024 F1 season kicks off on 29 February, teams will have a chance to test their cars in Bahrain starting on 21st February. They get 3 days to ensure everything works perfectly before the first big race. Here's a change. The testing hours are from 10 in the morning to 7 in the evening. That's different from last year when it went on until 7:30 in the evening. The FIA, the big bosses of F1, made this change to be more environmentally friendly and help the series be more sustainable. The cool part is that the testing and the first race are both happening in Bahrain, so they don't have to move all the cars and stuff around too much. Smart move, right? Now comes the car launch dates. The dates for the 2024 F1 season cars are yet to be disclosed. In the preceding 2023 season, the teams revealed their cars between January 31 and February 16th. The preseason testing is scheduled to kick off on February 21st, 2 days earlier than the previous year. This shift in testing may prompt teams to showcase their new vehicles a bit earlier than the previous season. Regulation changes in the 2024 F1 season. Regarding alterations in regulations for the 2024 F1 season, the FIA has implemented changes pertaining to testing older cars. According to the revised Article 10.2c of the sporting regulations, cars can only use components and software that have been previously employed in at least one competition or TCC, testing of a current car, of a championship season. This amendment aims to prevent teams from introducing entirely new components on an old car to gain any advantage beyond the confines of testing restrictions. And here are some primary new rules for F1 2024, changing the entirety of F1. First is the Pirelli tests. As per Pirelli's request, the upcoming year will witness an increase in the days dedicated to collecting data for tyre development, rising from the current 35 to 40 days. In response to drivers' complaints about issues with wet tyres, an additional 4 test days will be assigned. During these days, teams will exclusively use full wet and intermediate tyres, focusing on enhancing the driving experience in wet conditions. Furthermore, efforts to improve drivers' visibility continue with the ongoing development of splash guards. The initial trial at Silverstone in July did not meet expectations, leading to a second attempt in May with a completely new design. Based on the feedback received, the The FIA will decide whether to introduce anti-spray devices in 2025 or potentially delay the implementation until 2026, when new regulations are set to take effect. This step aims to address concerns and make informed decisions based on the performance of the updated design. Next is filming day. Moving on to the next phase, teams participate in filming days as part of promotional events to showcase their new cars annually. The regulations allow a mileage limit of 100 kilometers during these events. However, starting from 2024, this limit will be doubled. It's crucial to understand that teams must complete this extended mileage within a single day. Testing with previous cars. Now let's get into an innovation that will bring joy to the teams. Private tests are permitted during the season, provided they involve cars that are at least 2 years old. In the upcoming year, teams can use ground effect cars for the first time. This presents a unique chance for young drivers from various academies or third drivers to gain experience with this generation of cars. These testing days serve as valuable opportunities for drivers to accumulate kilometers behind the wheel of a Formula One car. In this scenario as well, the Federation has introduced a modification. Teams are now required to exclusively use materials previously introduced in at least one official session of 2022, Test or Grand Prix. This adjustment is aimed at preventing teams from exploiting these days to test new components, thereby avoiding the generation of data for the development of the 2024 Formula One car. Besides these primary new rules, there are other resolutions too to be implemented. Firstly, there will no longer be a Grand Prix with fewer sets of tyres available. The previous practice of supplying 11 sets of tyres for the entire weekend instead of 13, which occurred twice in 2023, has been abandoned. Complaints from drivers and teams led to the dismissal of the idea of conserving sets that don't contribute to the overall excitement of the race. Additionally, the plan to eliminate heating blankets has been put on hold until at least 2026, meaning the next 2 years will continue with the current practice. Moreover, a new measure was introduced in response to the scorching conditions experienced at the Qatar GP, where cockpits became excessively hot, leading to retirements and medical treatments. Ducting, located in the nose of the car, will be allowed to open for improved airflow, providing more cooling for pilots in extremely hot situations. Furthermore, there are changes to metal parts on the car's floor, aiming to enhance participant safety. Small adjustments in the financial limit have been implemented to help teams better adapt to the financial constraints, which have posed challenges on several occasions. Looking ahead to the 2026 season, a significant decision has been made. The development of the 2026 car cannot commence until the beginning of 2025. This means that, physically, the car cannot start production until the year preceding its implementation. Despite existing prototype work on computers using simulators, the hands-on production is delayed to ensure a synchronized and well-prepared introduction of the new car. Are changes being made to the Formula One sprint races? Looking ahead to the 2024 season, Formula One is considering changes to the sprint race format, and this idea has garnered support from both teams and bosses. While the changes are not finalized, ongoing discussions with the FIA are set to continue into January. Possible alterations include a complete overhaul of the weekend timetable or the introduction of a reverse grid format. In the 2023 season, the 6 sprint weekends already experienced some modifications. Notably, the race had a separate qualifying session, no longer determining the grid for the Grand Prix. The separation of the Grand Prix and qualifying placed teams under Parc Fermé rules from the FP1 onwards. Discussions between F1 and the teams are underway to finalize a format overhaul for 2024. One proposal suggests moving qualifying for the Grand Prix back to the afternoon, with the sprint race taking place in the morning. The sprint shootout qualifying, determining the sprint race grid, would be scheduled for Friday after FP1. This potential change could reopen Parc Fermé conditions after the sprint race, allowing teams to make necessary adjustments before qualifying. Who are the 2024 F1 reserve drivers? The Formula One teams are starting to unveil their reserve drivers. Some teams have opted to keep their 2023 reserve drivers, such as Red Bull's rookie Liam Lawson and Mercedes' Mick Schumacher. Conversely, other teams are introducing fresh faces, with McLaren leading the way by announcing 2 new reserve drivers. McLaren's lineup for the upcoming season will include Ryo Hirakawa, this year's 24 Hours of Le Mans winner, and IndyCar driver Pato O'Ward. So what do you think of the new F1 2024 rules that are changing everything? Comment below and subscribe for more.